Welcome to Chicago Nightly News. For the next couple of months, we will be following the production of the 1893 Columbian Exposition. On today's date, February 3rd, 1890, we just received news that the 400th anniversary of Christopher Columbus's journey will be celebrated in our fine city.
The architects chosen for the honorable task of designing the fair are Daniel Burnham and John Root. We are lucky enough to have them here with us today to discuss their plans for the event. Now we head to an interview with Daniel Burnham and John Root. So gentlemen, are you two excited to be the lead architects for the World's Fair?
Yes, we're both thrilled to represent Chicago in the fair. I have complete confidence in my assistant John Root and the people of Chicago. We're looking forward to putting on a show that will make our nation proud.
How do you plan on putting on such a great show?
Well, currently we're trying to collaborate with America's premier architects and harvest the American spirit. This fair will be like nothing you've ever seen before.
That sounds like it's going to be quite the event. I wish you all good luck in your endeavors. This is Sarah Buckland with the Chicago Nightly News. Good night.
Breaking news. 1 year into the production of the Chicago's World Fair, one of the lead architects, John Root, has passed away. Here we have his co-partner, Daniel Burnham, to discuss his loss.
How are you coping with the loss of your longtime friend and business associate?
John's death was a tragic event. However, the fair must go on. I'm planning on delegating some of John's duties to Frederick Law Olmsted, who has impressed me so far.
I'm really sorry about your loss, but now we go to Frederick Law Olmsted to talk about his increased production with the fair.
Here we are with Frederick Olmsted, the designer of Central Park in New York City. Frederick, how's the building going so far?
Not well, Mr. Johnson. So far we have encountered a lot of difficulties regarding the terrain in Jackson Park. The ground is mushy and doesn't provide a lot of structural support.
I'm sorry to hear that, Mr. Olmsted. How do you plan on matching the Paris World Fair in the splendor of the Eiffel Tower?
We just received an interesting proposition from a man named George Ferris. It seems far-fetched, but its extravagance would surely outmatch the Eiffel Tower.
That does sound interesting. Right now we have George Ferris, so we can talk about his proposal. Mr. Ferris?
Well, I heard from the Chicago Exposition Board was taking ideas to outdo the Eiffel Tower in Paris. I submitted an idea recently that has groundbreaking potential. I can't say much about it now, but it's a revolutionary idea that promises great reviews.
Today is Dedication Day at the Columbian Exposition in Chicago. The main buildings of this fair consist of the Women's Building, the Manufacturers Building, and the Liberal Arts Building, and the Electricity Building. The park has been nicknamed the White City for its traditional white paintings and on the buildings. This is Sally, who visited the fair today and is here to talk about it.
I love the fair. It was absolutely amazing. The architecture is magnificent and the canals are beautiful. I tried all sorts of new inventions like Juicy Fruit chewing gum and Hershey's chocolate today.
Thanks, Sally. It sounds like you're really enjoying yourself. Here's another fair visitor, Paul. Paul, how's the fair going so far?
It's great. Everything is wonderful. Although there is a big steel wheel that I'm not sure what its function is. I think the architect should either get rid of it or finish it. Anyways, the fair is spectacular at night. There are dazzling white lights that are all over the fair.
Those lights you're talking about were produced by Nikola Tesla and the Westinghouse Electric Company. The lights run on an alternating current, which was developed by Tesla. Tesla's alternating current is more effective than the alternative direct current favored by the electricity giants Thomas Edison. Anyways, that's all we have time for tonight. Good night, Chicago.
Breaking news. Several mysterious disappearances have been reported in the greater Chicago area. We have amateur sketches of the missing persons at the bottom of your screen. If you have any information on these disappearances, immediately contact the police. These people were last seen roughly a week ago in Inglewood.
As the fair comes to an end, we would like to reflect on the success of the fair and not dwell on the failures. Ferris's construction of his wheel was a huge success and surpassed all expectations. Everyone unanimously agrees that it outshined the Eiffel Tower.
Although we are celebrating the success of the fair, we also mourn the death of Mayor Harrison. A man by the name of Pendergrast shot and killed Mayor Harrison today. It should be noted that Pendergrast was mentally unstable. The last day of the fair will be dedicated to him.
Burnham has stated that the fair opened and ended with death. Although this seems tragic, the fair was a great success and will be forever remembered in the city of Chicago.
Breaking news. Here to talk about these upcoming events is our own Frank Geyer.
I'm happy to report that we have solved the cases of the many disappearances in the Chicago area that occurred during the World's Fair.
So who is behind all these disappearances?
We know, in fact, that the man behind all of the abductions is a man named H.H. Holmes, also known by his real name as Herman Webster Mudgett.
Now we have Frank Geyer's segment on the story of H.H. Holmes and his affairs during the 1893 World Fair in Chicago.
We meet H.H. Holmes as a child in his home state of New Hampshire. As a kid, he had no friends and had a fear of doctors, which is ironic because later in life he became one. He moved to Chicago later in his life to start a pharmacy business. After building his pharmacy, he decided to expand his business and open a hotel. One of Holmes' construction workers, George Bowman, talks about the strange nature of H.H. Holmes.
I don't know what to make of Holmes. I hadn't been working for him but 2 days before he came around and asked me. Now it would be the easiest matter for you to drop a stone on that fellow's head while you're at work, and I'll give you $50 if you do. This hotel had weird things in it. A furnace in the basement, soundproof closets, closed rooms that looked like gas chambers.
Did you or any of the other construction workers have any idea as to why Holmes was making you build these strange features?
No, I was only hired for a week along with some other people, and then new workers came in to take our positions.
2 years after the beginning of the World Fair, H.H. Holmes was arrested in Philadelphia on several accounts of insurance fraud. On top of the insurance fraud, we discovered how he committed multiple accounts of murder, not only at the World Fair, but also across the continent. We interviewed Holmes in his jail cell after he was in prison to ask him some final questions about his actions. How are you today, Mr. Holmes?
I'm great, Mr. Geyer.
Do you regret murdering so many people, Holmes?
Absolutely not. Each murder was special, and I loved all of them.
Well, that concludes the story of H.H. Holmes and his activities during the Chicago World Fair.
I hope you enjoyed the fair. This is Chicago Nightly News. Good night.